So one of the things I got a couple messages about last time is what is the difference between censorship, regular censorship that you see on, Facebook and X and Instagram and all this stuff, and signal reduction. I talked a lot about that in my second stream, the one that they deleted. So censorship and signal reduction are two very different things, okay? So censorship is the removal or hiding of information. Signal reduction is not necessarily hiding information, but boosting inaccurate misinformation. So it's, it's sort of two things at once. It's not removing it because it can be removed, but really what they want to do is bury it. So what they're doing is signal reduction scrambles the message or the information or the perception of an event, right? It's not removing it so that you don't know. What it is overriding it in your mind to what's true. What is the aspect of this truth and what is the aspect of this lie, and then scrambling it, right? So the point of censorship is to remove it. The signal reduction is to override your thinking and to redirect how you think of that. Because if they just remove it, then you might possibly come to the conclusion that whatever it wasn't meant to be seen because it was true, right? So what they do is they signal reduce that piece of information so that the next time that you do see that information, you just go, oh, that's right. I've seen this before. And it turns out that it was this, right? It creates a closed loop out of that. So instead of you possibly searching for more information from it being censored and removed, what it does is it creates an artificial end to that subject or that curiosity that you had for whatever it was, that event, that bit of information, person, place, thing, whatever it was. It gives you a manufactured cap to put on that, right? So signal reduction is a manufactured ending to your curiosity. So that's why, a great example that somebody brought up in the chat last time was the Democratic Party and the Republican Party switching. That's a pretty good example of signal reduction, because pattern recognition would say, hey, wow, these guys, they founded the KKK, they put these Jim Crow laws, and they were against freeing the slaves, right? So all of this pattern recognition kicks in and go, wow, these Democrats have been fucking scumbags from their inception, from day one. So what they try to do is they signal reduce it. Instead of hiding that information and hiding those facts, what they do is they signal reduce it and say that the parties switched. So now you have a manufactured cap on why those things happened. Instead of trying to remove the information, they confuse you on the information. And that is a very, very good example of signal reduction. Signal reduction is being used 100 times more now than censorship, because censorship, like I said, leaves this open-ended discussion of, wow, that information's gone, where did it go, right? They don't want you to be curious. So signal reduction takes its place by stopping you. You're no longer curious if they've provided you with an answer. They've provided you with what you think is the information that you sought. So that's why learning what signal reduction is and understanding how it's used and what it is much more important than understanding censorship. Censorship is very basic. They know what it is. They've seen themselves when they post something and it disappears. However, if you posted something and someone else comes up and says, you're actually wrong, it's actually this, and they reduce the signal, they run signal reduction on it, then you're confused. Everyone else watching is confused. Everyone's confused. And that is the entire point. So that brings me into the next thingamajiggy. Zoom out. everything happening with, everybody's like, oh, is Biden dead? Is it an AI talking to us? Who cares? I know that sounds crazy, but it doesn't matter. Their lies do not matter. I know everybody wants to know. They just want to, they just want to know the truth, and that is completely 100% natural. We all do. We all want to know the truth, no doubt. But in the end, I know it sounds crazy, but it doesn't matter. It does not matter. You're getting lost in the details. And remember, the devil's in the details. Because the reason why I say it doesn't matter, just like the government coming out and saying that aliens and UFOs have been fucking around all this time, it doesn't matter, because the goals remain the same. They want total and complete control of every aspect of your lives. The way that they go about that changes daily, hourly, minute by minute. They are scrambling and trying to figure out ways to spin everything in their favor for those goals.